as we get into 2023, I think there was a hope that this was an opportunity to press reset off the back of a few tough years. This felt like a chance to get back to normal, or at least press the reset button. But what we're seeing with the hybrid working challenges that we're having, with the reduction in employee engagement, increase in turnover, burnout on the rise, and of course the economic concerns that we have. And this is not just here in Aotearoa, this is globally we are seeing these trends. Means that this year is still going to be a challenge. And of course we add to that the fact that we all feel a little bit behind on our BAU because the last few years have kind of taken our attention away from any of the nice to haves whilst we've been fighting fires. So I've pulled together the State of the Workforce report for 2023, which is a combination of all of the global studies that are out there, or many of the global studies that are out there, and some of the key trends that we're seeing both globally and here in our own backyard in Aotearoa. And I'll give you a bit of a highlights tour, a bit of a summary of what that includes. And it doesn't necessarily make great reading, but what it does enable us to do is give some thought into how these challenges are going to impact us, and most of all, what the solutions are, how we therefore meet these challenges. So global engagement and well-being, the trends are stable but still low. Employee stress is at an all-time high. We are seeing burnout more common now in women than there used to be no gender difference. We are also seeing an increase in burnout post-COVID. We are seeing an increase in microaggressions and tolerance as a whole. We are also seeing that impacts our minority groups more so. Before the pandemic, engagement and well-being scores were increasing, and now they're stagnant. According to some of the research that's out there by PwC, only 57% of employees in the Asia Pacific region are satisfied with their job. 1/3 plan to ask for a raise in the next 12 months, and 1/3 plan to ask for a promotion. 1 in 5 intend to switch to a new employer. So in terms of the issues we already have around talent shortages, recruitment times, turnover, that looks set to continue, the challenges in that space. We are also seeing the cuts that organisations are having to make to respond to our ever-changing economic climate are meaning that things like pay rises and benefits and all the nice to haves that we would have planned on doing are not happening. And yet we know employees are asking for more, or they're going to go elsewhere to get it. We also know that we've fallen behind on our DE&I initiatives, and we also know that the impacts we've had over the last few years have been felt most keenly in this space. So we know from these statistics and these trends that employee engagement and well-being is going to be high, as is supporting the mental health of our teams and our leaders because of the last few years that we've been through and the impacts that's had. Yes, lockdowns might be a thing of the past, but there is still a massive post-COVID hangover that we will feel in our organisations because of what we've been through, and potentially not acknowledged in the same way that we would expect from any kind of grieving cycle. So with DE&I being top of the agenda, as well as combating burnout and investing in our employee well-being, I have got 2 new programs. One is my allyship program, which I'm quite excited about, particularly as we look at Embrace Equity this year for International Women's Day. I've always had a passion for working in the women in leadership space. And for those that have already invested in those programs, you get the allyship at a discount because of your existing commitment, which I think is so important. The allyship program is really the other side to that coin, and a nod to the fact that we cannot do this alone. So of course this does not just exist in a gender space, but men as allies for the women in leadership work that I do, I think is a key part of our success. And I think for many of us in Aotearoa, we want to be allies in this space, but we're unsure how. We might say the wrong thing, or we're not sure what to say, so we don't. And I think for those that are at the forefront of this, leading the initiatives in your workplace because you are the only one who is in this community or that community is a heavy load to bear. And we know the value of support in this space in terms of furthering these agendas. And of course, off the back of the success of Burnout to Brilliance last year, I have a new leadership program called Leader Zen, and that is around the self-mastery for leaders. It is around being able to stay calm amid the chaos and really tap into the things that enable us to lead with empathy, enable us to evolve so that we can lead in this post-pandemic era. You can download your copy of the report and those programs from the website. Go to the homepage, you'll see there's a button to download the workplace report. Would love to know what you think, and particularly the challenges you're experiencing right now. Does that ring true, or are there additional challenges that are emerging as we head into 2023?